Welcome to the call, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paul Lovato calling out of Las Vegas, Nevada. It's my privilege, my pleasure to go ahead and share with you today some golden nuggets here on Freedom Friday, January the 17th. And I tell you what a red-hot company to be a part of here at ZJ International. Indeed, we have a golden opportunity to make a difference in our lives, and certainly I love how we can do that, that we're able to go ahead and make a difference in people's lives by, we'll be able to make a difference in our lives, by making a difference in people's lives. And that's really, I think, the most fair way to do business, in my opinion, because it's essentially the law of karma that we're getting back what we give out. And that's what I love about relationship marketing, network marketing, whatever we call it. And certainly ZJ International is the premier company in the industry. All the many of the industry professionals certainly are looking at ZJ International. And that's part of the reason why our company is growing so fast, is because the foundation has been set, ladies and gentlemen. The foundation has been set over the years by field leaders and corporate leaders that have been laying that infrastructure, and we're very excited about the fact that now is the time to seize the moment. Carpe diem, right? Seize the moment. Seize the day. And what I wanted to speak with you about today on this Freedom Friday, this period 71, cycle 1, as we wrap it up. Here we are, right in the middle of the first month of January. And time does fly, and it's been said many times, time waits for no one. And so what I wanted to share with you today is a little bit about how to capture your piece of the pie. Here's what we know. Our company is on the mark, and we are marching down the road, and we are going down the pipeline with volume thus far about 150 million to 200 million annualized, and we are on the mark to double that, possibly even double and a half that, ladies and gentlemen. If we are certainly disciplined as teams, and we're going to talk a little bit about discipline and unity as teams, but if we're disciplined, we have that opportunity to hit that $400 million annualized mark as a company. And one of the things I love about that, it's very easy to tell how much a company pays in commissions, typically in network marketing. And that is that you just take their annualized revenue and you just divide it in half. And so let's just say that there's going to be $400 million earned in annualized revenue by ZJ International. We're a direct ship company, as you know, and here's what we also know. Who's going to get their piece of the pie of those millions and millions of dollars that are out there being paid in commissions by ZJ International? And it's one of the reasons that I've always had the philosophy, ladies and gentlemen, I never fight over my piece of the pie. I just make the pie bigger, because the pie is truly being made bigger with the unity that's occurring here at ZJ International. And certainly here we are on Freedom Friday. And if you're new to the call, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, welcome to the call, each and every one of you. I want to congratulate you for getting on the call early and announcing yourselves. As you can hear, we have people calling in from coast to coast, border to border, and even internationally. And why is that? Because this company, ZJ International, is truly making a difference in people's lives. But what I wanted to share with you today about Freedom Friday briefly before we get into our subject matter is that Freedom Friday, for all the people that are new, it's a great opportunity to really wrap a nice little bow about around what you've started this week. Maybe you made an introduction and sent out some fit packs, and people opened up their fit packs and they started taking them. Maybe you sold some samples, the 4-day samples, or even just some pure moringa samples. Whatever the case might be sample-wise, that is one of the golden tools that we have here at ZJ. The key thing is to follow up with them, ladies and gentlemen. And so what Freedom Friday is about is doing the follow-up. How many times have we heard that? The fortune is in the follow-up, right? Well, it's really in the follow-up and the follow-through. And by follow-through, I mean that until we get a decision. And the decision is yes, no, or not right now, see? And so, ladies and gentlemen, what I encourage you to do is to allow Freedom Friday to be an opportunity to literally double your commissions, double your volume by allowing people on your team to accomplish just those little incremental steps. Maybe you've got 5, 6 people on your team that need to go ahead and qualify for Builder 500. Maybe you've got, 6 or 7 people on there that are making a run for, for bronze. Whatever the case is, find those people, by just looking at your volume, paying attention to who calls you. Like what I do, ladies and gentlemen, as a leader, is I pay attention who makes my phone ring. If they make my phone ring, I look through my log, I see that, and you know what? That's who I spend time with, because that tells me as a leader that they're hungry for what we have. And why do we do that? Because there's just so many people on the teams, as these teams are growing so fast, is that we don't have time to call everybody. We have to respond to the people that make some noise, as they say. As the proverbial saying goes, that the squeaky wheel gets the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and so the oil. And so my point is that that's where we spend our effort. And so what I wanted to share this morning in regards to how that fits into Freedom Friday is, see, Freedom Friday can just be any other day. It can just be another day at the office, or it can be a special day. And what I love about Freedom Friday, certainly we had that happen this past week, with some of the people that I have the privilege to work with out in Northern California, the San Francisco Bay Area, is Heather Lincoln. She's breaking some brand new pins. We heard Andrea Maniscalco-Schultz. She's part of that team, part of that leadership team that's helping to bring these brand new pins, brand new bronzes. And one of the key things that I shared with Marie Anderson as she went bronze is that one of the key things we need to do is not just get to those pins, but to re-qualify for the pins. See, because when we know that we re-qualify for them, it's because we know that we're doing the simple disciplines that really got us there. See, in essence, we can allow ourselves to be, kind of camouflage our success if we just look at our pin rank. But it's really that re-qualifying volume that really tells us where our business is. That's really the barometer of where your ZG International business is what is your re-qualifying volume. And I tell you what, that will drive us on Freedom Friday, because you know what? We're fighting every single moment to go and help people get to that Builder 500. And, it's been said here at ZG International, all we have to do is be a Builder 500 factory. Just, show people ourselves that we personally sponsor. We're always doing the activity that we expect others to do, and that is to bring new people into ZG. And my goodness, why wouldn't we want to do that? So many people, certainly I can speak for myself, our lives have been changed by this company, by the products that changed us into new human beings. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I was able to go ahead and celebrate my 5-year anniversary here at ZG International. And it just was wonderfully done, We got our initial orders in as we're launching Lithuania and the Baltic states and into Russia. And why is that so important? Because it was that simple discipline of staying put. It's that simple discipline of reaching out to people. It was that simple discipline of taking our eyes off of ourselves and maybe the fear factor, maybe the rejection factor, and looking at what I call the love factor. And that really relates to, we really have a responsibility to share these things with people, to share the benefits of better health, the benefits of not as much stress in the family, because we've got an extra $500 to $1,000 a week, or even a month. Whatever the case is, ladies and gentlemen, we do know this, is that many families suffer unnecessary stress because of that financial tension, and especially in today's economy. So why would we want to keep this incredible gift? Well, I think many times it's not by design that we do that. We do it by default, that we don't share these gifts. And it's because we lack those daily disciplines. I love what Jim Rohn said. He said, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every single day. It's also interesting how Jim Rohn, one of the people that has just had the most significant impact in my life. I never met the man. I had the fortune to go to several of his classes, and I had activities going on in my personal life and in my business life. The team was growing. I was already pre-registered, and you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't make it. And before the next class was assembled, our team. And it is so refreshing to know that those people that really want this, on Freedom Friday, it shows up. Because, as Les Brown said at convention, you got to be hungry. And boy, I tell you what, that's what we want to go and share with you, ladies and gentlemen, is that being hungry really is illustrated in the disciplines that we have. I don't know about you, but you typically don't have to tell a person to come and eat when they're hungry, right? They find their way to the banqueting table. And certainly Zeech International, in my opinion, is that banqueting table. I also love how Jim Rohn puts it, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You know, we can have this great vision, these great dreams, and here we are, the beginning of 2014. I encourage you to open up your dream builder. I encourage you to rewrite your goals. Not just think about them, ladies and gentlemen, but rewrite them. Share them with your coaches. Work on them. You know, put yourself in a process of defining those goals so accurately that you can taste them. Literally taste them. You can see them. You can feel them. And they're alive in you. That's what's going to drive you. That's what's going to create that passion. That's what creates greatness here at Zeech International, is being driven by something bigger than ourselves because we want to help others with what we have here. So what I wanted to share this morning in regards, how do we tie that in with what's going on here today at Zeech? Well, I tell you what, here we had our first Zeech Nation call of 2014, and you know, the company has done an incredible job with Zeech University. Zeech University was really needed because it provided that initial step of unified training for a company, and here we are now moving into Life Unlimited Academy. Very excited to hear about that. If you haven't heard about it, ladies and gentlemen, you know, Zeech International is a servant leadership company, and that is the corporate leadership, the field leadership is coming to you. We're going to have events all over the country, training people in a unified manner. And the reason is that unity is so key. I just posted something on Facebook about that, how unity creates so many wonderful effects, but it also, a lack of unity in a company can create disastrous results. And I love what William Butler Yeats did. He says, talent perceives differences. Genius, unity. And see, what he was saying is that the way that we see life is the way life sees us. Do we see life as here at Zeech International, at Zeech Nation, do we see it as just a bunch of other teams and their team and their prospects and my prospects, or do we see it as a unified team with a purpose to take the Moringa movement around the world? And I'm going to tie this into what we want to do at our local events to show that unity, ladies and gentlemen. That unity is key because it's not good intentions that build unity. It's the simple disciplines of doing the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. And so what I wanted to share is that the unity that we're talking about, it allows us to collectively do something greater than what we can do individually. You know, it was such a pleasure to be in Santa Rosa at one of the events with Dave Kirtley and Ed as they're heading up that market, certainly at Lincoln there in Santa Rosa. And what you're seeing is a unity of teams working together to build a market that they can be proud of and bring their guests in and not have to worry about what is going to be shown in Santa Rosa, what's going to be shown in San Jose, what's going to be shown in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be that unified team working together, because that's the key thing we want to do is, ladies and gentlemen, when we create a unified front to our prospects, here's what we know. They're about 80% trained on how they're going to do the business. And so I just encourage us to really look at this and chew on this and to process this whole concept of team unity within the different markets. See, we're not a little baby company anymore, ladies and gentlemen. We're a big boy, big girl company. We have come out and made an impact on the economy. Here we are being published in Inc. Magazine's Top 5,000, number 38 slot in consumer services. And ladies and gentlemen, that's huge. And here's the wonderful thing. We, as Zeech Nation, we know we are on solid foundation with a Ken Brailsford company. And the beautiful thing is that unity is going to keep us here. And why I bring that up, ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunate to say, but there's been some leaders that came into Egypt 2, 3, 4 years ago and made a huge splash. Maybe went to diamond immediately, but they're gone. Why? Because they didn't understand that concept of unity. They didn't understand the concept of being a market leader versus just a team leader. And I want to share just a bit about that, because having been a market leader in several companies now for some time, it's a privilege to go ahead and share what was passed on to me, and many times through oversights on my own, because I didn't know what I didn't know. And so what it brings me to is many times people, they might have good intentions, they just don't know what they don't know. So one of the things about unity is that it doesn't happen by accident. And see, the corporate leadership that we have here at GG International is visionary leadership. And what that means is the company follows up on things that need to be taken care of at the corporate level. They listen to us, and they make the adjustments, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe not in the perfect time of what we want, but whenever I start thinking about criticizing what corporate is doing, I always think about a couple of things. And one of them is 70 years and their bank account is a lot better than mine. And so it kind of humbles me to realize I shouldn't be reinventing the wheel. Let's let corporate do what they need to do. Let's support them. Let's be a team player to let corporate do. We trust them. So we trust them enough to say, okay, I'll wait 3 months for this process to flow out. And also in addition to the corporate unity is the field unity, ladies and gentlemen. And, one of the things that's the genius of this incredible visionary that we all know is Ken Brailsford is that he did something very unique in the marketplace, and it's called the Profit Participation Plan. Now, a lot of people might think that, well, that is wonderful because they're rewarding the leaders around the world for building this company, and it's going to bring great leaders. But here's what the Profit Participation Plan does even beyond that. It incentivizes field leaders all over the world, all over in all these markets, in the 40-plus countries that we're in, ladies and gentlemen. It incentivizes the field leaders to have unity. See, because that's their piece of the pie that we begin eroding if we don't make that pie bigger. And so it's really quite genius, the Profit Participation Plan, because I've had the misfortune of being a part of a great movement in the company with great products. But because the field leadership wasn't there, that company is gone today. And so one of the beautiful things about ZG International is that we know that we have an opportunity to be here tomorrow and to pass this on. But the only way that we can do that as far as getting our piece of the pie, is here's what I do know, is that ZG International will be here 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, whether Paul Lovato's here or not. But I do know this, that I've made a determination that I'll have the simple disciplines, like on Freedom Friday, to make adjustments to my schedule. So I encourage you on Freedom Friday, ladies and gentlemen, to understand this whole concept of unity, the whole concept of a synergy, creating a bigger outcome than what we can by ourselves. And so, and what this whole process does of field leadership, corporate leadership, is that we have some disciplines that we have to kind of spend some time attending to. Here we are embarking upon another Life Unlimited tour, and I'm so excited about that. We've got the Life Unlimited Academy that's going to be part of that. What I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, is that as you're working and sending people to these markets where there's different teams growing, understand that the most significant people in that meeting are guests. And if you have a guest, you want to go ahead and definitely attend to them. You want to personally introduce them to the market leaders in that meeting. Matter of fact, if you're really astute, what I ask my people to do is, if you're in another market, like in Atlanta, I work closely with my dear friends, Doug and Amy Stroop. Guess what I do? When I send somebody to one of their events, maybe Barbie Stall, they're having an event here coming up, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I get on the phone and do a 3-way call. Why is that? because that's what I've done for them. It's that unity, so we all bring our strengths when we're working together. So what I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, is when you introduce your guests to the market leaders there, guess what? It makes them feel supported. See, because in network marketing, we have a tendency to talk a lot about support, talk about, systems, but when we show them the support, and certainly people working together in harmony, is the best thing that we can do for that prospect when they see that. They feel it, quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen. And so what I encourage you to do is to take care of those people. Stick with your prospect. I encourage you to introduce them to the people that you are close, especially people on your team. And certainly you can do it to the cross leadership as well, but understanding that, the people they're going to spend the most time with are the people on their team, whether it's upline or downline. And so, in addition, what I encourage you to do is to care for your guests, but I also encourage you, if you don't have a guest, to respect other people's guests. And by that, what I'm referring to is that it may be this individual that brought them hasn't sampled them yet. Maybe that person hasn't given them a certain level of exposure to the system yet. For whatever reason, maybe they're looking just at the product and they have no interest in the business, and we have to respect that. And so what I encourage you to do is that if you're in a market meeting, an open meeting, that you have the awareness that that person's in process. And so what you want to do is keep your conversation with them very generic. In other words, dream building. Well, so ask questions. What are you looking for here at DG International? What is it that most excites you? What are you most wanting to accomplish here at DG International? And they'll answer your questions and edify the system that they can do that. But when we start saying, well, you want to look at this tool, here's a tool, or here's a sample for you, it may create a situation where the prospect isn't quite sure what's going on, because maybe their person showed them a fit pack instead of a 4-day trial pack. And so what I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that's the unity that we're talking about. And as I said, edify the system, edify their leaders that brought them there. And here's what I know. When we do that, because we've been able to go ahead and go with what I call, my team knows all about this, the Santa Rosa six-pack. We went from 6 people in a living room to over 2,000 people in Sacramento. And how do you do that? With field leadership working together, where, sometimes we had people that would bring in buses into the meetings from different cities outside of Sacramento, and they might have had 50, 60, 70 guests there. And the wonderful thing is they knew that we respected their prospects by keeping our comments and our process with that prospect very, very germane to the system. And that way, when they moved with the people that brought them there, they felt very comfortable. What did that do? It made them feel very comfortable to bring their 5, 10, 15, 20 guests as well. So we duplicated that unity, ladies and gentlemen. That's absolutely huge when it comes to growing from $200 million company annualized to 400. And so I just encourage us to take these fundamentals, these disciplines that allow us to really have the outcomes of what we want here on Freedom Friday, and that's duplication by design, okay? And so with that, I was going to go ahead and leave you with a couple of things that have been just so refreshing in my life, and I hope that you're on a book of the month on your team. And our team here at DG International, here at DG, the Discover Moringa team, you might have, the Moringa drinkers, the team elite, just all the different teams that we have around the country. Hopefully you're plugged in with your leadership about a book of the month. And I'm just so excited to be rereading for, I don't know how many times, and how many times I read the book and I think, oh my gosh, what a treasure that sentence is. And it's the book, The Angel Inside, by Chris Widener. And one of the things is that this book is just an incredibly easy read. But, I love what Leonardo da Vinci says. He says that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And, here I am on and it's entitled Beauty Through Details. And it's a book about the statue of David and Michelangelo's passion. And this passion is how you can get around this statue, and I look forward to seeing it. I haven't seen it yet. Ron Gold is telling me it just literally comes alive. And what I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason it comes alive because there's beauty in those details. See, Michelangelo knew the details so well about the human anatomy, he made them come out of the marble. By the way, it was a piece of marble that was rejected for many years as being an inappropriate shape and size for a sculpture. But he saw the angel inside, and that's what that book is about, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope that you're working harder on yourself than you do on your business. Because when you work harder on yourself and you grow personally, you will have great fruit, a great harvest, because the right people will be attracted to you. And I can honestly say to you, ladies and gentlemen, the difference between a little man's, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, the difference between a little man's no and a big man's no is no. But the difference between a big man's yes and a big man's no, huge difference. That can explode your business. That's what's landed up bringing up almost 20% of this annualized commission called Japan. It was just one person asking another person. Japan wasn't on really the radar for expansion with CJ close to 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. But they did it because the right people showed up, because they were attracted to the leadership that they interfaced with here at CJ International. You too can do the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. I encourage you to have the discipline, the simple discipline, and remember what Jim Rohn said. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Let's discipline ourselves to have that unity with these little beautiful details, just like Michelangelo did. He was attentive to the details, ladies and gentlemen. And so with that in mind, I want to remind everybody that, get with your leadership. What is our book of the month? Hopefully you're reading beyond just the book of the month. I'm reading Paulo Coelho's 11th book. I mean, what an incredible read about the power of your passion, your desire, your dream. And also want to remind everybody we have an incredible Saturday training set up with Amy McKenzie, Emerald Executive. She does an incredible delivery with her ability to tell stories with her training, professional training in theater. You don't want to miss that call. You want to promote it. I'm going to have all my people on that. And so with that in mind, I just wanted to thank you. If you've got any quick comments, any quick announcements on the line, I think I hear somebody on the moderator line. You're welcome to come on in very briefly if you don't mind. Okay, no problem. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and unmute the lines. It's been my pleasure, my privilege. Let's go out and make a difference this Freedom Friday as we touch people with the gift of CJ International. The lines are now unmuted. Have a great rest of the day, and God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Great call. Thank you, Darlene. I watched it. Patty Place and living on. Thank you.
North Carolina. Great call. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Great call. Great Schultz, American Canyon, California. Loved it. Have a great day.
Rock and roll, girl. Rock and roll.
Indianapolis, Indiana. Great day. Las Vegas. That was an awesome call. Thanks for your leadership. Happy Freedom Friday.
Awesome call. Birmingham, Alabama.